What's up, guys? I had filmed an intro for this video. You can kind of see we're skipping some time. You can see a little critter already in this enclosure. But basically I was going back and forth whether or not I wanted to add only African plants or just kind of whatever kind of plants to this enclosure. This is the day gecko enclosure that I'm talking about behind me. I'm going to add a little bit of both. I know a few people are going to be really butthurt about me adding non-African plants. I don't care. The plants that I ended up going with look fucking marvelous. I really like the way this is going to grow in, basically. I'm really excited about this enclosure. And without further ado, I'll take you back to the past where I was figuring all this out and show you guys how it happened. Alright, so the first plant that's going in is going to be this Circessus mirabilis, or mirabilis. If you recognize this plant, it's probably because you saw it as like one of the hype plants that was for sale during the aeroid craze, like 3 or 4 years ago, like kind of later into the aeroid craze. It's very unique in the sense that it's an African climbing species. Basically, in Africa, you have some climbing species of Colcasia, like what we have in there, and then you have Circestus. That's like pretty much the only thing that climbs, other than some pothos, and there's a few other oddball plants out there. It's a really cool plant. It was actually given to me as a gift. I went into the old plant shop that I used to work at, and I gave the owner an Anthurium species Morona just as a gift. I had an extra one laying around, and he was like, "Hey, you're looking for African plants for your enclosure, right? Do you want this?" And I was like, "Why not? I'm not going to say no to a free Circestus." But this is a really cool species. It fenestrates when it matures. I don't know how difficult that is going to be to get it to do, but we're going to plant it kind of like lower in the corner over here, and we'll see how far it climbs, and if we can get it to fenestrate, that would be very cool. And then the other plant I'm putting in, that is from Africa, is this little cup. Looks very impressive, doesn't it? This is supposedly Selaginella madagascarense. I'm not 100% confident that it's Selaginella madagascarense. It is definitely Selaginella, and it had a tag in it that said Madagascar. It was sold to me as a Madagascan or a Malagasy Selaginella. It doesn't look like the Selaginellas from Madagascar that I've seen, but we'll see. Maybe it just looks weird because it's being propagated in a little cup, and then once it starts to grow out in the enclosure, it'll look normal. But this is kind of like a climbing, rambling kind of species of Selaginella. It looks really cool, and it gets these like upright fronds, if it is that species. We're going to spread it out in a few different places in the enclosure and let it grow in. And those are all the African plants I'm putting in for now. I'm going to see if I can get some more stuff. I'll probably add some more Colcasia species like Striolata, and there's a few other no-IDs that some of my friends have. I'll probably grab those. I want to get some more African begonias like Montes elephantis. A friend of mine, Cohen Brantley, has a really cool, just really green, larger leafed begonia that's from Gabon, I believe. And I'd like to grab one of those from him if he has any for sale. And then I think Begonia bogneri is another really cool one. There's a lot of cool epiphytic begonias out of Africa. But those, I'd love to grab like a Calopsis volkensii. I'd love to grab some Nephthydus. That would be really sweet. And then there's a handful of other stuff, maybe an Anubias here and there, but most of those are like helophytic or rheophytic. They don't do well in not super wet conditions, so I don't know if I'll actually add any of those. But, moving on from the African stuff, this is probably one that you've seen on social media. This is Solanum julianum, or Eulerum. I can't remember. I think it's Julianum. But very unique species of Solanum. Very dark, velvety leaves, or more so velose than velvety. Just a beautiful plant. I've had it in a tub for I don't even know how long, probably 2 years, and I just have never done anything with it because I'm always like, I don't have an African, or I don't have a South American setup. So I've got all these South American plants that I never stick in setups because I just don't have a South American setup, really. And the only South American setup that I do have is, like, tiny. But yeah, it's annoying. I have so many plants that I love from South America. I live in the United States. South America's the closest, so there's so many tropical plants that are awesome that come from South America. So I'm throwing this thing in there. I'm also throwing some Margravia in there. These are, like, all South American plants. This is Margravia rectiflora, a beautiful little plant. I love Margravias. This is one that I'm actually pretty excited about. This is, I don't know if it's going to really show up on the camera well. This is Peperomia emarginella. It's a beautiful, beautiful little plant. It kind of rambles and grows around, very similar to, what is it, Peperomia, very similar to Peperomia prostrata, or if you'll probably know it as like string turtles. It's a great vivarium plant. It's just going to fill out and grow all over the walls and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to have this in the collection, actually. I've been wanting something that's like just a trailing tiny plant. And this one also has like fuzzy little leaves. It's cool. This is one that I'm really, really excited about. I actually broke one of the newer leaves. But this is Myconia galca. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant. Emily Freebird from In Search of Small Things had these for sale like a few weeks ago, or had 2 purges that she posted, and I missed it both times. And then I saw Alex Minky had one at Frog Daddy, and I jumped on it as soon as I saw it. So this is just a beautiful little kind of rambling vine that's going to go in there most likely. Love this plant. And then we've got 2 species of pendant anthuriums. This is my Anthurium bakeri. I've had it for like 5 or 6 years, and I've never given it the attention that it deserves. It's one of my all-time favorite Anthurium species. It's a beautiful, beautiful species. It self-pollinates typically, so you get seeds out of it really regularly. I don't think I've ever gotten it to bloom because I just neglect it. I've got it mounted on this piece of cork, and it's doing fine, but I forget about it, and it dries out all the time. You can see all those burnt leaves. It's all super mad. I'm going to give it a forever home in that enclosure, and we'll be able to look at it and display it the way it deserves. And this other one is one of my smaller... This other one's one of my smaller Anthurium pallitiflorums. You can see... Little pallitiflorum. This leaf is on its way out. I've got a much bigger one that's like my mother plant in the tent. And yeah, since I had an extra and I'm not planning on selling it because it's winter, I'm going to throw it in the tank. This actually is a really cool plant because it's an F1 from Jay Vanini. So he took 2 wild collected plants, crossed them, and this is the result. So this is pure, as like kind of real as it gets, pallitiflorum from like an OG collector. I've got a few plants from him, but this is one of my favorites. And I'm just going to tuck this into a corner somewhere and let it do its thing. And I think this is going to be the last one that I add. This, if it focuses, is one of my favorite plants of all time. I'm pretty sure this is Hoffmannia fantasia. I love Hoffmannias. I want to collect every species that exists. Fantasia is a hybrid between Geisbreidii and Refulgens. I had Discolor for a while, and I had Geisbreidii for a while, but the Geisbreidii was variegated, so I immediately lost interest. That was the last variegated plant I bought ever, and this was years ago. And I was like so excited to get it. I was like, this plant is super hard to find, and it's variegated, and it has like marble type variegation, so it's not a terrible variegation. And then I got it, and I was like, I wish it wasn't variegated. And that was like the last plant that was variegated that I ever bought. I hate variegated plants. But it was variegated, and I couldn't get it to revert, so I think I just killed it, honestly. It's just, I'd like to have an actual proper Geisbreidii one day, because it is an awesome, awesome, awesome plant. But this is, I believe, the Fantasia, because this is the last Hoffmannia that I have. And like I said, I used to have Discolor, and I used to have Fantasia, and I think this is the Fantasia. Might be Discolor. Alright, so I just went to my moss tub to kind of grab some moss and start planting it in the little gaps, and this is what I found. That's not moss. That's a no ID arthrostemma. I think some of it might be parvulifolium. I did used to have parvulifolium in this tub, but I also put a ton of more green, lighter colored arthrostemma in this tub as well. And I'm pretty sure that's what this is. So I've ripped this out like 50 times, so it's time to do it again. And instead of just throwing it in the trash, I'm just going to throw it all in the bottom of the day gecko enclosure. This is what I was actually after, but we have all of this to plant in the bottom. Alright, so it's the next day. I'm really excited about the planting for this. If you notice, you can barely see it. I did move the Bakeri up here, and I moved the Pallidiflorum right about there. It's kind of looking a little bit floppy right now. I'll show you guys more in a minute. But I was going to be... Alright, so I was going to be getting more plants today, but some other stuff came up, and I'm not going to be able to make the trip. It's like a 2-hour drive to go over there. So that means, since I'm not adding more plants, it's time to add the geckos. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I have this old graduated cylinder, so I think I'm going to try to, like, corral one at a time into this and, like, cover it up, and then just stick it into the tank and let them go. So we're going to see how that goes. I don't have super high hopes, but we're going to get it done. That was nerve-wracking. I caught him. I'm gonna see if I can spook him out. There he is. That's a good boy. He is, the glare is so bad. He is super stressed out. We got him out. Look how dark he is. I'd like to get him off that log. I don't want to stress him out anymore. Let's see if I can get him to scooch just a little bit. There you go, buddy. There you go. Good boy. Good dog. Perfect. Right, and I've never done this before, but for her, I really think I can probably just grab her. And she'll be kind of chill, but let's see what happens. Come here, sweetie. Come here. It's okay. There she is. Ooh, you okay? I got you. Yeah, there she is.
Super chill little gecko. Let me try to open the glass door. No, 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 no. No, ma'am. Gotta get this glass door open. Get her back on my hand. Come here. You're okay. Come here. Okay. I'm not gonna hurt you. You were just fine. Come on. Come. Oh, God. I don't want to grab her. You're okay. You're okay. Woo! This is exactly what I didn't want to happen. Don't bite me. Yes, I know. Okay, she's going. There you go. Oh. She peed on me a little bit, but there she is. She's not even that stressed looking. She looks perfectly fine. Alright, so I've got their UVB and heat set up. It's right above these branches. That was the specific reason why we had to do this layout this way, is so we could have an actual proper basking spot with good UVB, like close enough to the lid. And she is right here. The glare is so bad, I'm sorry. There she is. She is not looking great. And you can see she's definitely got some little splotches of skin where I think he's been biting her. He's been trying to breed with her. So hopefully this gives her a little bit more room to kind of, escape from him if she wants to. And then he, as you can barely just see his chunky tail, right on the back side of this log. Yeah, I was thinking about putting some crickets in there or something, trying to feed them, but I'm just going to let them be for a few hours. I'm going to go to the gym, run some errands, and come back and check on them. So just for a little recap with the plants, we've got the Rhaphidophora africana growing up the side here and planted all around this corner. One small Hoffmannia planted down in the leaf litter. And another planted up here next to the Solanum ulianum. Another Rhaphidophora africana planted in the ground but working its way up this log. A very nice Caucasia mannii in the bottom, with some no-ID arthrostemma still recovering behind it. A beautiful velvety species of Caucasia that hasn't been described yet. A little Markgravia rectiflora, and a nice little Anthurium pallidiflorum. Peperomia and Marginella has been added to a bunch of little cracks and crevices throughout the tank, and it's doing very, very well in here. We've got a nice patch of Begonia prismaticarpa in the back corner here, and another patch that's flowering like crazy in the other back corner with some pothos scandens. If you look up to the right, you can see a little bit more of that Peperomia marginella. And over here we've got this really nice Cercestus mirabilis that's pushing a new leaf. And the Mycania galca right behind it. And last but not least, we've got this really nice Anthurium bakeri that's starting to recover. The species has really, really nice marginal veins. It's one of my favorite Anthuriums. Look at those roots. The enclosure is also pretty heavily planted with pothos scandens down through here, up there, and there's a big vine that goes all the way up and over the top, as well as pothos repens kind of scattered around this area as well. Sphagnum moss has been tucked into a lot of little gaps and cracks, as well as Selaginella and some of that Emarginella. So it should be really nice once it grows in.
Alright, so I've given them a little bit of time to settle in, a few days, like maybe a week or so, but they're doing really well.